Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Explosive, and welcome to a talk video. So, I have a little bit of an interesting story. I was gonna do a Five Nights at Candy's playthrough. We were on the fifth night, and I was going to do a playthrough. And something really weird happened. I went in, and I don't have the recording anymore, unfortunately. But we went in, and I was exploring an Easter egg and trying to beat the final night. Now, I looked up a couple of endings for this because I wanted to explore my theory. If you don't remember, I had what I thought was a working theory of the monster cat and the monster rat, and everyone else, specifically like why they were there and what they were modeled after, and like why Vinny specifically, he's the marionette. And if you look up Vinny Five Nights at Candy's 4 or Marionette Five Nights at Candy's, or excuse me, not Five Nights at Candy's 4, that one's not out yet, 3. If you look up Five Nights at Candy's 3, Marionette or Vinny, or if you do the same for, say, 2 or even 1, you can pretty quickly see that it looks very, very similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's original Marionette. And I had a theory as to why, and I went into delve with it. Like, why was he purple? Like, it had to have been some sort of counter that he had. So, what is... Oh, I thought it... Random smudge here, and I don't know what that was. So, but why was he purple? Why does he look almost exactly like the marionette from Five Nights at Freddy's 2? I was trying to explore this a little bit, and I got to the fifth night. Now, something I was doing, because I thought it was kind of funny, was knocking over the origami cat. In the game Five Nights at Candy's 3, there's an origami cat that you can knock over. And I don't know what the effect is, but you do it enough times, you can get to the fifth night, and it doesn't let you play anymore. Like, he said, like, he just said he was just an unwanted memory and how he became a nightmare. And from that, I had a theory. So I think that the whole lore of Five Nights at Candy's is just in the girl's head. Now, the reason for this is it would explain like why, because in the Five Nights at Candy series, there's obviously the first game, there's animatronics. In the second game, again, withered down animatronics. It's the third game that really explains everything. There's an attraction or a pizzeria-like place, and there's never any animatronics that at least I don't think so. It's people dress up in the cat costume and the rat costume. So why are they animatronics in the night? Especially like at her house, that just seems a little far-fetched to me. So I feel like it's all in her head, and the same thing would happen. Like the same thing happened in Five Nights at Five Nights at Freddy's. Like maybe it's because like she went through a traumatic cause. That's why she would be having these hallucinations. She witnessed something tragic. I'm going to set this up here. And that's why she's not getting any sleep. It's because she just can't. She can't get any sleep at all. So, like, I actually looked this up, and I remember this from, like, Death Battle for a totally unrelated reason. But one of the things they mentioned was a lack of sleep can cause hallucination. I looked that up as well, and it's actually true. Lack of sleep, it can cause hallucinations. It's one of the side effects. So, and because of the fact that she wouldn't be able to, like, I wouldn't be able to sleep either. Sorry, trying to get all this hair out of my face. So, if I looked some things up because I didn't want to play through the entire game, and I especially didn't want to make you guys watch me go through the entire game again. It was just headaches all around. So I looked up a couple of endings, and the traumatic experience, and this ultimately would explain why the rat and cat are animatronics in her house when they're not technically supposed to be animatronics. So supposedly every day her dad would take her to this pizzeria place for a show or something that would be happening that particular day. And I mean, it was her favorite show until the traumatic experience. Every day they would play hide and seek. Well, one day the rat character, or not the rat, but the cat, it was the cat. It was the cat. Excuse me. So, it was the rat. Excuse me. So, no, that's right. Because he talked about possibly being. He went in. Basically, one of them. They played hide and seek with a whole bunch of kids. Every single hiding spot ever is taken, so your only choice is to run into the staffing back room for staffs only, where they keep like the storage basically, and there's a closet in there that you hide in. I remember you hide in there, and then the cat runs in. Or no, the rat runs in, because I remember it was a bit of a brighter color, and then there's an intoxication thing. They argue because the puppeteer who controls Vinny, the marionette, walks in and he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you intoxicated?" So they have an argument, and then eventually the rat starts to strangle the puppeteer, trying to keep him from taking off the suits to make him go home. Well, the puppeteer shoves him back in self-defense, and I'm going to warn you now, this is going to get a little bit dark here. He trips and falls, and his head slams into the corner of the metal table, and it's one of those pointy ones too, so it digs into his head, and he was insta-dead at that point. That was death. So then the cat comes in, because I remember this now. The cat comes in and he asks what happened. Puppeteer explains that they got into a fight. So the cat starts telling him, like, we got to tell the police. We got to tell the police. They'll understand it was an accident. But the puppeteer, he's fearing that he might get charged with possible murder, because this guy, and this ties in more, the fact that he doesn't want to call the police. They would. It was self-defense. They would have understood. They would have. But the fact that he just doesn't want to, he doesn't want to call them. He wants to instead say that he was careless and that he ended up killing himself by accident. He wants to do that, and he even strangles the other staff member when he tries to call the cops. And the fact that his marionette, like his whole color theme, is purple, I think this is one of the workers of Purple Guy. It may even be the Purple Guy, the same one that was on a murder spree. Like, that would make sense. That would explain why he wouldn't want to call the cops. Because they know him. They would know him, but he just looks slightly different. He looks different. They would know about that, and seeing him and two other bodies in self-defense, they would immediately act suspicious, because this guy, if he's not the Purple Guy, he's definitely someone that would have worked with him. So he calls the police and says that both of the staff members were fighting each other, and eventually they ended up killing each other. Which, even then, that's a little bit odd. So it's skeptic. It's so skeptical. So then that's the traumatizing experience. And that's why that she would see them as animatronics, is because it was the rat and the cat. Those are the animatronics that are in the house during the nights. And those were these same staff members that were killed by this very murderous purple guy ass looking, whatever you want to call him, puppeteer. He gives off huge purple guy vibes. So that would explain why she's so traumatized by that, and which would lead into no sleep and possibly the hallucinations, which would be the cat and cat's hallucinations. So, it blows my mind. Anyway, so the ending. So that's why she's having these nightmares, and like a year later, they're coming back to haunt her because she's remembering this, and she's seeing a counselor about it, and having to relive through those nights trying to remember what happened so that she can tell him. That would cause me not to be able to sleep because I'm having to relive through that same experience that was just so traumatic. Lack of sleep, hallucinations, rat and cat animatronics. I looked up, there's another ending as well. There's a couple other endings that I still have questions about, and the developer of the game is working on a fourth game, so I'm gonna play that as well to see if I can't find answers. So, the first ending you can get, the ending I got, was the Forgotten ending. In that one, the cat says the origami cat. The origami cat helps you, gives tips, and helps you along with fighting the nightmares. Well, he says he doesn't become a memory or a helper anymore, but more rather a nightmare, and he's also a cat. So that just seems like it's just more proof to me that it's all just in her mind, because I don't know, it's weird. And then she said that like it was the last memory of her mother? Question mark? Like I said, I still have questions that are unanswered about that. I may go back and play through the previous games trying to find, and I may title them Blue Cat Mystery or something. I don't know. Later down the road, like, I may come back to that, but who knows? So, and then like they just said I'm an unwanted memory. I became a nightmare and blah blah blah. So it's like, okay, so why? I don't know. It's just it doesn't make any sense. So, but the whole like origami cat thing, like that could be another sign. I'm not sure yet. I'm not. So after you beat the main game, you do have the option of telling of playing through the sixth night, and it's at that point that Vinny, the marionette himself, is pissed that you told the counselor just about what had happened. You told him everything, and it ruined his life, supposedly. And so he tries to kill you himself during that night. You manage to get past it, and there's police outside, and she's trapped the whole time, and she gets back to her father, and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were still in there, blah, blah. I tried to tell them, but they were already getting people out. They had already gotten people out at that point. And what's weird is the purple guy was talking to one of the police. He was talking to them. And the police officers were still saying that they had already gotten everyone out. And the dad says, like, you don't understand. My daughter is still in there. Like, as if the cop didn't believe him. And the puppeteer, this purple guy figure of this main game series, was also talking to the police with her in there, with the dad trying to convince them that she was there, and they're not believing him. That skeptical. That gives me a whole lot of clues. That is a whole nother purple guy theory that I believe could be explored on its end. I don't know yet, but I don't know that this is actually going to work, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and make contact with MatPat and explain all these theories and ideas to him, because this is like really, really weird. It's so weird seeing like stuff like that happen, and just these questions that arise. Like, there are still some questions I don't know. Why does the origami cat? What did the origami cat stated that he was an unwanted memory of the girl's mother? Why did the mother do something that was bad and traumatic to the girl? Why is the marionette purple? Was it to counter the marionette from Five Nights at Freddy's 2? If you don't know the series from Five Nights at Freddy's, the main plot is basically Purple Guy is going on a murder spree, and again, this is going to get really, really dark, so fair warning, if you don't like things getting dark, turn it off now. It involves children who were killed by the Purple Guy. He went on a murder spree of that particular kind. He was a fucked up motherfucker. He was a fucked up bastard. So there was 4 kids of which that had tried to fight back. 4 kids. And I forget, MatPat also goes into a little bit about this as well, I think. But those kids who tried to stop him were the kids that would later become... Excuse me, sorry. I'm still recovering, apparently. But those kids that tried to stop Purple Guy would later become Bonnie, Foxy, Freddy, and Chica. Those same ones. Supposedly, there was another little girl who didn't necessarily die, but was just traumatized, and like it's weird. Like, from what I understand, there was an animatronic based around her, made based off of her, and that was Marionette. Now later this was changed because in Sister Location there's no Marionette, none. Instead there's Circus Baby, and like this is a series. This is where I'm a little rusty on my things, but like one of the kids that wanted to stop her was the Marionette girl, and I don't know who that is. And I say it's a girl because in Ultimate Custom Night, if Marionette is the one that kills you, it is a female's voice. It is a little girl's voice. So she wanted to stop him, and she controlled the puppet, essentially, which that would explain why there's a purple Marionette. Purple Guy, purple Marionette, to counter this thing that he couldn't quite handle and fight off. Excuse me. It's weird. There's still a lot of questions like that I have. How does this tie into the origami cat? Like, where does he fit in? Because obviously, I discovered on night 5 that he is also a nightmare person. That he can become a nightmare. Where does he fit in? Why was the mother figure something bad that Mary wanted to forget? Like, if you knock it over, the cat specifically says that he was a memory that she wanted to forget. Now, obviously, that's you taking control and knocking it over, but I mean, still, it's like these are just questions that are unanswered. I'm going to be doing a lot of work. I'm going to move on from a different game series. For now, we're going to set this. We're going to shelf this theory. I'm going to try and make contact, which is going to be very, very, very difficult because MatPat is a very, very, very famous YouTuber, and I am not yet. So it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try because I feel like if I share these ideas, these theories with him, he might just be a little bit impressed. I don't know if he's covered this particular game series yet. So that's why I want to work with him. Working with him, I feel that I may be able to get the answers. I may be able to work with him to answer more of these questions. I may, and this is another thing that's going to be difficult. I may even try to get into contact with Markiplier because he also played the game and he also had like little theories that like MatPat. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Markiplier. You're my hero. That weren't as good as MatPat's. They weren't. Oh my God, it's painful to say that. They weren't, but it was still interesting to know that he was able to gather clues like that, and like he had the skill. Like he beat Sister Location Golden Freddy mode, and that's a mode not even the developer himself, Scott Cawthon, who made the game, not even he could beat Golden Freddy mode, and Markiplier did. So I feel that he could have just a ton of like tactics and strategies and tips, and then MatPat could have the theories and ideas and suggestions about just possible answers to these questions that I've mentioned so many times. So I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to set this one aside. Tomorrow I'm going to look into another game series. I might do those nights at Rachel's because that also ties into Five Nights at Freddy's. So hope you liked this one. If you did, please give a big fat thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.